Hello, my name is Melinda Carmona, and I'd like to thank you for attending our virtual Memorial Day commemoration. Memorial Day is a day of remembering. It is a day to honor the sacrifices our men and women of the United States Armed Forces have made and celebrate their memory. These noble men and women were our friends, loved ones, and fellow service members. Today, we pay our respects to our local fallen heroes by remembering the family and friends they left behind. Although this is a painful reminder of that devastating loss, many have found strength and comfort in sharing stories about their loved one, celebrating their service and the life they lived. This Memorial Day, I ask you to keep the fallen in your minds and their family and friends in your heart, for it is their immense collective sacrifices that have helped keep our country safe and free. And as long as we continue to honor them with our actions and remember their sacrifices, they will never be forgotten. Today, we are going to honor the lives of those who have been lost by hearing from their family and friends. We will keep their memories alive and never forget.
Hi, my name is Jerry Kurtz. I work for Washington River Protection Solutions. I'm also a volunteer in our outreach program for veterans. First, I want to thank Columbia Basin College for allowing me this opportunity to share a story about someone very dear to me and my family on this Memorial Day. I'm here to talk about the life of Army Specialist Robert Ellis. I've known Robbie since as we call him Robbie, since he was, the earliest recollection I have was about 2 years old. He was in my wife's Sunday school, and he was a good kid. As he grew, he loved baseball. He played baseball his whole childhood. He was friends with my son and another guy in church that they ran together their entire growing up together. Robbie, when he went to Kennewick High School, he graduated from Kennewick High School in 2010. When he went to high school, he switched to football, which, okay, Robbie always loved baseball. That was Robbie's thing, but football, and he did well. And shortly thereafter, he went into the Army. And I think the beginning of 2011, Robbie always had the idea that he would do that someday. He would serve. So it wasn't a surprise when he joined the Army in 2011. Robbie went to school, and he was assigned to the 32nd Transportation Company of the 4th Infantry Division in Fort Carson, Colorado. From there, he was sent to Afghanistan as part of the rotation, like at the time everyone was doing. I think he got there sometime 2012, I believe. And he was a little trepidation, as anyone would have doing that. We loved Robbie. We prayed for him. We put him in God's hands as he went to do this. So it was a shock on June 18, 2013, when my son notified me that Robbie had been lost in Afghanistan. Him and 3 of his friends at the Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan made the ultimate sacrifice that day as a result of hostile indirect fire from outside the wire. It was a shock to me. It was definitely a shock to my son as being, the 3 amigos, best friends. And you don't really think about things like this till it happens. Robbie was a good boy. He loved his country. He born and raised in Kennewick. He loved baseball. He loved all those things that most of us love. He was a good friend, a good son, a good brother. We'll all miss him sorely.
My name is David Osorio. I served as a combat medic in the United States Army. During my time serving, I had the honor to meet and befriend Sergeant John Scogan. John was the kindest human being to live. Since day one, he was always happy. He was a willing ear to listen to your problems and would go out of his way to make sure everyone around him was happy. He was the life of the party. He took care of his soldiers as a combat medic, as a squad leader, and he truly cared about everyone's success. He was also an excellent caregiver. Time and again, he received high accolades for his excellence in patient care and his dedication to duty. This dedication led him to be an amazing leader during his deployment and his time in Hawaii. Sadly, he carried with him not only the demons of others, but his own. He became a statistic when he took his own life. He was a brother to me and an inspiration. I still miss him. I live my life working hard in EMS to reach his level of patient care and dedication to duty, and I hope he's proud of me as he watches over everyone he's touched.
Sergeant Talon Leach, USMC 2nd Raider Battalion, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, a critical skills operator, sniper, conversant in Arabic, Halo jump expert, and so much more. I want to introduce you to my son. Talon and I became family in June of 2003 when I married his dad, Tab. Talon was 13. He was excited to have me in the family at first, but as can happen with teenagers, we had some struggles and conflicts. When he was 14 years old, we went on his first date. We went to the movies and shared a soda and popcorn. I don't even remember the movie we went to, and yet he was becoming the son of my heart. There in Missouri, on 130 acres where Talon lived most of his growing up years, there was a lake. It was about 1.5 acres across and 25 to 30 feet deep. He really loved swimming, but didn't want to walk to the lake. It was about a mile through the weeds and the ticks and bugs, but not having driven a vehicle yet, he would drive the riding lawnmower. Not mowing along the way, mind you, but just riding. As the teen years went by, he struggled with his parents. He was spreading his wings and showing creativity in this. He would sneak out of the house or sneak back in after breaking curfew. And one of the times he did this, he was trying to break back into the house. He was coming through the window in his bedroom about 1 or 2 in the morning. This was directly below the master bedroom. Tab woke up and grabbed the shotgun thinking that there was a burglar. Talon almost ended up with a buckshot in his backside. He was pushing boundaries and learning. As Talon was getting out of high school, he was struggling with what to do. He wasn't a traditional classroom learner, but he was very smart, and that meant oftentimes bored. He was a voracious reader, and he really loved to learn. The rural high school that he went to just didn't fit his personality. He didn't want to be a nerd, nor did he want to fit into the confines of the athletes. He really wasn't sure what he wanted to do. So college wasn't in the thoughts, but maybe the military. As little seeds of that were planted, the true decision had to be made from him. One day he came home and told us that he had signed up. His dad asked him which branch, and his response was shocking. He declared the Marines. Very surprised, Tab asked him why he chose that. And Talon's response was, "If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be the best." And he was. In 2010, he graduated from boot camp in San Diego at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot. We hardly recognized him among the other graduates. He was among the first to reach the top of the ultimate crucible. And when he reached there, he went back and helped his teammates that were lagging behind. After boot, his first MOS was CBIRF, Chemical Biological Incident Response Force, based in Indian Head, Maryland. He enjoyed the mental challenge there, but there was a lot of desk time. He pursued EMT training, and he spent a lot of time working with the New York Fire Department in their hazmat team, learning from them and also teaching their teams. We had the opportunity to hear him growing and finding a passion. The soldiers, Marines, airmen, and sailors have a unique personality that make it possible for them to serve with physical might, strategic effort, and strength. They strengthen their bodies and train their minds to work spontaneously and efficiently. One day, Talon called and talked about the Marine Raiders. I asked him what his thoughts were about this next step. If not the Raiders, would you step away from active duty? What would you want to do as your next phase? He wasn't sure if he knew what he wanted to do. Knowing him, he needed a sense of extreme challenge and a goal to pursue. As he successfully completed step after step, I saw him maturing and growing. This never happens without a willingness for challenge and change. As a Raider, he trained all the time. CrossFit every day, physical training with the team, more protein shakes, and bars than you can ever imagine. He worked hard to be the best because the team was counting on him to do that. Members of the Raider team came from different MOS trainings and history to bring a depth and understanding. Talon had the experience with the chemical, nuclear, and radiologic warfare. He knew the components of different gases and safe distances, understanding after effects and symptoms. The teams are cohesive and exceptional. Talon was killed when the KC-130 Hercules answering the call sign Yankee 72 came apart approximately 20,000 feet over Leflore County, Mississippi. On July 10th of 2017, there were 16 souls on board, 9 flight crew based out of New York, 6 Raiders, and a corpsman from the Camp Lejeune, North Carolina base. Talon was 27 years old. We were notified around 3 a.m. on the 11th. The USMC sent 3 teams, one to his mom, one to his dad and I, and one to his wife. It was the most devastating news. At first, they were only able to tell us he was missing. And they explained what happened. And my response was, do you know what the Raiders do? They jump out of planes at that elevation all the time. That's no problem. Maybe they made it. Maybe? Confirmation had to wait until 3 or 4 in the afternoon, but the crash was all over the news. Around 3:15, 3 o'clock, the Marines returned to confirm what we were dreading. There are days that I can talk about Talon and have a smile and remember. And there are days when the impact of the grief is very, very evident. Talon was and is an immense part of my heart. I am proud to call him the son of my heart. I am proud to be a Marine mom, and something that I did to remember him, I knew it would have to be radical. So I had a tattoo placed by the same artist that did most of his work, and I completed the Marine Corps Marathon in 2018. He would have been so impressed. Memorial Day is about service people lost, but it is also about the families left behind. The team that raised them, surrounded them, and are devastated by their absence. As they say in the Raiders, never above you, never below you, always beside you.
My name is Eric Schmeeman, and I'm the Gold Star father of Sergeant Dietrich Schmeeman of the United States Marine Corps. Dietrich was very proud of his Pacific Northwest heritage. He was born in Portland, and we moved here to the Tri-Cities when he was only 6 months old. And he attended Christ the King Elementary School and Hanford High, and through the Running Start program, completed an associate's degree here at CBC in the 11th and 12th grade. At that time, Dietrich could have done just about anything, and he decided to serve his country in the Marine Corps. When he first went down to speak to recruiters, he was 6'3" and very slender build, and the recruiter told him to go away, gain 30 pounds, and then come back to see him. And he did that, and it wasn't easy for him. After boot camp in the Marine Corps, he was assigned to Force Recon in Okinawa. And after 3 years serving there, he was selected for MARSOC, the Marine Corps Special Operations Command, which are today known as Raiders. He went through their very demanding and physical training, and each was assigned to Team 8232. And each person on the team is supposed to have 3 specialties, and Dietrich said he wanted his to be jump, dive, and drive. Indeed, he went through all of the military jump schools, including high altitude, low opening, free fall schools. He made over 60 free fall jumps. And he also went to Marine Corps Combat Dive School, and so he was a qualified diver, and went to school to drive most of the military vehicles, at least ones he thought were fun to drive. And but when he went through training with the team, He was trained first of all as a radioman, and then as their intelligence person, and lastly as JTAC, which is a Joint Tactical Air Command. He was on his way to do some JTAC practice in Arizona, and in a C-130 aircraft that crashed on July 10th, 2017, and in Mississippi. But aside from his experience in the military, Dietrich had a lot of very close friends here in this community. And every time he would come home, they would all get together and usually either go to camping in Mount Rainier or skiing in any place local. Dietrich, when he was in high school, was in the ski patrol at Ski Bluewood. My mother once told me that she liked going to funerals because you heard so many things about a person that you never knew before. And in fact, that happened to a certain extent to us with Dietrich. Not going to the funeral, but in today's age, seeing what people posted on Facebook about him. And the most common thing that people said about Dietrich in their posts shortly after his death was, Dietrich inspired me to be the person I am. Excuse me. So, Dietrich inspired me to become a better person. And in fact, one of his fathers, the father of one of his friends, sent me a screenshot of a text exchange they had had between his son and Dietrich and himself. And his son was considering getting a tattoo, and Dietrich had a lot of tattoos. And so Dietrich was, pointing out the good aspects of this decision about getting a tattoo. And his father the boy's father texted, "Don't encourage him." And Dietrich texted back, "I don't encourage, I inspire." This Memorial Day, I'm sure that people that were inspired by Dietrich will be remembering him, and I hope that you remember those who have inspired you. Thanks for remembering Memorial Day.
Please join me in a moment of silence to honor our fallen service members.